Hello again, and welcome to Hell's Place. I saw a video while I was scrolling on Twitter, on X, and I came across this video that I very much would like you to see. Have a look.
So Jillian Michaels, the fitness guru, went kind of viral from an appearance on CNN where she questions an exhibit at the Smithsonian.
There's one called Change Your Game. This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? And then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports.
First of all, why is this an exhibit in the Smithsonian?
But why is this in the Smithsonian?
What on earth does this have to do with their mission? What she did not mention, which I think is also relevant, is that the exhibit is brought to us by Nike. So why is Nike so invested in this? Why does Nike want us to believe that testing for sex is unfair in sports and testing for sex is sort of this unknowable thing? I think it's a very fair question. So that's the second point. And then the third is the way the whole exhibit works. It's obviously incredibly biased. It tees up a quiz for the museum visitors, but the way it describes sex testing is as something that is sort of inaccurate and impossible and really complicated. You can't actually accurately test for sex. That's not true. You can. It's very simple. It's a spit test or a spit in a cup, a cheek swab or spit in a cup. That's all you have to do. And one test lasts your entire athletic career, unlike drug testing, which happens at every competition and is far more invasive. You have to pee in a cup. Somebody usually watches. At least that was my experience. So this is far simpler. Sex is knowable. And the other issue that the exhibit tees up is that males likely don't have any advantage.
That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports.
Men are faster and stronger. That's why there is a women's category as established back in 1972 with Title IX. So the entire exhibit is incredibly biased and brought to us by Nike. You be the judge.
Okay. So Nike, who sells women's and men's shoes. They don't just sell shoes to people. They sell men's and women's, girls and boys' shoes. So they know there's a difference. Are saying that there's no difference, talent or strength-wise, between men and women in sports. The Smithsonian is harboring an exhibit from Nike that basically states, even though we sell men's and women's and girls and boys' shoes, there's no difference between them. And men pose no greater risk of winning over women. So then how come we've had basically male athletes cleaning house in women's divisions and all they had to do was say, I'm trans? Leah Thomas still has not gotten surgery. Still has a male body, yet claims to be female, and has for several years. Well, I'm sorry, dude. You could have had your surgery. But really, even though we've had surgery, and I'm speaking as a trans woman here, we have an advantage over most women. Not all. There's women who would kick my ass, but if Nike is saying that there's no difference between men and women, strength-wise or in talent, and none of that stuff, then I'm challenging every 64-year-old woman here right now to weightlifting, javelin, and shot put competitions. The challenge is out there to all 64-year-old women. Step up, ladies. Elle wants to play with you. There is a huge difference. And I'm not just talking about the XXXY chromosome crap. I'm talking a huge difference in strength. And I'm sorry to all women and girls. You're amazing. And I know there's things that you could beat boys and men at. But in sports, in general, girls should not have to be better than boys in order to compete with any hope of getting a trophy. Nor should women have to be better than most men to get a trophy in their sport. So what Trump has done is much better. Listen to this.
What do you make of what Trump has said about diversity, equity and inclusion policies? He's basically suggested that they should be scrapped.
They should be scrapped. Yeah, diversity, equity and inclusion are three wonderful sounding words that are in fact a scheme to do the exact opposite. It's to divide and it's to create inequality. It's to revive racism, but this time against white people. It's all based on this idea that there's an oppressor and oppressed. It's what I call neo-communism, because the communism before 1989 failed. It was centered around class and economic inequality. But this DEI scheme is based on race and identity politics. And these things are terrible, and we've seen the outcome of that. So for the Trump administration to go out and say, let's get rid of this, I'm very much in favor of that.
Okay, so the whole DEI thing is to divide, exclude, and interject bullshit into our lives. Total, everything they're saying is bullshit. Everything they're saying and claiming is bullshit. As a trans woman, I'm telling you right now, most men have an advantage over a woman in sport. Now, all women? No. Just some, like, I wouldn't compete against, like Faye. She'd kick my ass. But most other women I'd compete against. So, you know, I mean, at 64, I think I got a good shot. Look, there's a huge difference. And the fact that they're saying that it's not. So then why does Nike have women and men's shoes? Why don't they just have people, adult shoes and young people's shoes and children's shoes? Why are they separated in genders? Why do we have men and women's athletes? Because there's a need for that. And again, any dude can just walk into a woman's washroom and say, well, I'm trans. And no one can argue with them. And that's not right. I want to put an end to it. Even at the risk of me not being able to use the women's bathroom anymore. I would rather get in fistfights in the men's room, in heels and miniskirts, than to make women or girls feel unsafe. Or to have other people, creepy people, like Nick with the beard, who likes to wear 70s makeup, walking in the women's washroom. No women should have to put up with that. These freaks and pedos and perverts have taken advantage of this so badly that trans people are no longer safe. So now none of us are safe. Are you happy? Smithsonian and Nike. I will denounce this exhibit. I will denounce the Smithsonian, as I always have, since finding out how corrupt they really are. And I will, if I can, do everything in my power to stop DEI. To stop saying that there's no difference between men and women in sports. Yes, I'm sorry, get fucked, there is. And again, I'm not saying that a man can beat all women. That would be stupid. But on a general basis, just people who might not be as good as the good girls are, like the ones who are good at what they do. They have to fight to get as good as them as it is. And then after that, they have to get enough to beat boys? Are you kidding me? No. Trump is doing the right thing, and more people need to do the right thing. We cannot let society devolve at the behest of a community that doesn't want all this. I talk to trans women every day. We don't want this label. We don't want this crap. We don't want the heat. that's being put on us by paid actors from George Soros and the government of Canada and other governments and other billionaires like Bill Gates and others, who are all paying for this agenda to be pushed on us. Do not allow this. We need to keep our identities separate. We need to keep our sexes separate. There's a reason why we have separate bathrooms and separate sports, separate clothes, separate shoes. We are allowing ourselves to be bullied. And take it from someone who allowed society to bully me out of being who I was for decades. Do not allow yourself to be bullied by these people. Push back, stand up, tell them no, and quit buying Nike shoes until they learn the difference between a male and a female. Because apparently they couldn't tell you what a female is. They think they're the same as males. This has gone stupid. And I'm calling you out on your shit. So let's no. And look, I did this video because I know if hetero women do this video, they're going to get attacked. They're going to get silenced. They're going to get deplatformed. But me, it's a little harder. So I wanted to do this video. Hopefully, it's going to get enough views to plant enough seeds to tell people, don't put up with this. Don't laugh at it. It's not a joke. They're taking the future from women and girls by bullying and intimidating. They're gaslighting women and girls to say, no, there's no difference between you and boys. Don't allow it. Men, stand up for your women and your kids. Do what's right for once. Do not allow women and girls to be bullied and intimidated. I won't. I'll be standing up against it every single day I am alive until there's no more air going through my lungs and no more blood flowing in my veins. Simply because what's happening is wrong. And I say, even at the behest of me losing creature comforts, I don't care. I want what's right. Anyway, I hope you're all having a nice day, and I hope you have a great weekend. We'll chat again soon. Bye.